So I was looking through the Facebook the other day, and I was watching a conversation go down about the whiteboard and its effectiveness in the gym. Is it positive? Is it negative? And there's a back and forth that was honestly kind of aggressive, but it is what it is. We all have our passion ideas, and I wanted to weigh in on that a bit just to kind of let you know my perspective on it. The whiteboard, like anything else, is a tool. And a tool can be used poorly or it can be used well. It all depends on the person wielding that tool. Just like you could say for CrossFit. CrossFit as a program is a tool. You can use it poorly or you can use it well. I could use a whiteboard pen poorly or I could use it well. I could take it and I could write on the whiteboard and make magic, or I could stab myself in the eye with it, and it's going to be a poor use of that tool. And I think I've said this in other places, but the whiteboard can be tremendously effective at fostering community and fostering intensity and fostering a sense of camaraderie amongst the people who are there doing it, doing workouts. It can also be used poorly in the sense that it's the end-all be-all of what that facility is about, and it makes it so it creates division and it creates cheaters and it creates a sense of resentment towards other people. So the responsibility really falls on the owner of that facility, to deliver the whiteboard in a way that people are going to use it positively, should they want to use it at all. Now, I think that, like Greg Glassman stated in the beginning of this program, men will die for points. I've met plenty of ladies that will die for points as well, but that all needs to fall in the context of a positive environment. Part of this program is the intensity. That's where we see results. And if you're not chasing anything and there's no pursuit of a higher level of fitness, then we start to be less effective than we could normally be. Now, you can elicit that same sort of intensity through other things like how you push people, how you scale people, your interactions with them, but you can also do it using the whiteboard. And I've seen it be a very effective tool here. So I think that making sure you're prioritizing why you're using a whiteboard and it's just an asset to the class, something that assists in everything else versus it's the end-all be-all, is one easy way of making it so it doesn't override anything that happens. So that also means that when you're in a class and you're utilizing the whiteboard, you need to make sure that you're holding everybody to good standards. Sometimes what I see is gyms that don't hold their people to good standards, movement standards, whether it be safety-wise or just straight range of motion-wise, which is a huge component of this. So if you've got a gym that doesn't hold people to range of motion standards, or you've got a gym where people can somehow get away with miscounting reps often, it breeds a sense of resentment towards the other people who are there. They don't want to come to class. All kinds of stuff happens. Now, I don't think you need to force everyone to write their name on the board and write their score. I do think you need to hold people accountable. I do think that you should have it as an option. That's just how I've always run facilities, and it seems to be a great place. And you can do that as a literal whiteboard, or you can do it as like an online logging system. It's totally up to you and the culture you create in your facility. But once again, I think the whiteboard can be used well as a tool. I also think it can be used incredibly poorly and be destructive to a community. It all depends on the person who is delivering it. So, should you use a whiteboard? Who are you? What do you believe in your facility? And it doesn't necessarily make it all about competition. It just sets standards for people. It just sets a thing for other people to look forward to and achieve, and a lot of people are driven by that. Some people aren't. They just don't have to write their name on the board. And then if you see too much of a competitive atmosphere being built around that whiteboard and it's bringing down things, you just have a really quick conversation with those people and say, hey, you know, good job on how hard you're going, but let's make sure it's not antagonistic towards others. I think, once again, whiteboard's a tool. You can use it well, you can use it poorly. Enjoy it. Have fun out there. Do what you think fits your facility best.